My name is Anna Perry and I will be discussing resumes. Our national unemployment rate is currently 10.2%, which means 1 out of 10 people are currently unemployed and seeking employment. This also means that in order to be selected for a position, your resume has to stand out more than anybody else's. I will be discussing items that should be included in your resume, things you should leave out, and common mistakes that you should avoid. To start, we will discuss what should be included in your resume. Your name should always be included in your resume. Your first and last name is all that's required. This is also how your employer will be introduced to you, so that's all that's necessary. Your address should be included. Be sure not to abbreviate your street, avenue, or boulevard that you may live on. A telephone number is also required. This is how they may be contacting you for an interview. You want to be sure not to use your current employer's phone number unless they are aware that you are seeking other employment. Another item that should be included is your email address. A lot of employers use this as a preferred method of contact. It's easier and it seems to be very popular. Next, what you should also include in your resume is a target job title. This is like a heading of your resume. It also gives the reader of the resume a starting point. Another thing that you should include is a career summary. A career summary will dramatically increase the effectiveness of your resume. Another thing that should also be included in your resume is employment dates. You want to be sure that these are completely accurate. The potential employer that has your resume would more than likely be checking these dates. Job titles are also very important to include on your resume. They provide generic identification that is easily understood in professional things. The company names that you work for are also very important. However, addresses and phone numbers are not necessary. State and city can be very helpful though. You want to also include your responsibilities that you had at your previous employers. Any accreditations and licenses that you have acquired would be very useful on your resume. Any professional affiliations that you have are also very important. These demonstrate the commitment you have to your career. Any foreign languages that you also have would also be very helpful. Many companies today are global, and any foreign languages that you possess would be an asset to the company. Of course, you want to include your educational background, any professional training that you have, and any military experience you have. Military shows that you have good team working skills. Now moving to what you should leave out of your resume. You should leave out any salary that you had at previous jobs. Anything too high or too low can automatically put you out of a running for any position. Reasons for leaving previous positions could bring up issues that shouldn't be discussed and can be turned into a negative thing. Any mention of race, age, religion, or sex should be left out of your resume. The federal government has enacted laws that makes discrimination based on these things illegal. You should also leave out any weaknesses. You want to be the best choice, and any weakness could put you out of the running. Demands for your employment should also be left out. Those should be left to be discussed when you have been given a job offer. At that time, you would like to discuss those. And references should also be left out of your resume. They would be asked at a later time. Now the final thing we'll discuss is problems, common problems to avoid. Offering too much information is a very common mistake. This can lead to too much verbiage, and it would also require a lot of time and effort to read. So to fix this, you would omit any unnecessary information. Another common mistake is having a resume that's 4 or more pages. Anything that is longer than 4 pages more than likely won't be read. Again, another way to avoid this is to omit any unnecessary information. Another common mistake is not using bold type. You want to make sure that the beginning of any paragraph is bolded, as long as your name should also be bolded at the very top of the resume. Using fancy font you would think would make your resume more interesting and draw your attention to it. However, it does make the resume very difficult to read, and you should avoid that. Also, using too small of a font size to get all your information onto one page definitely should be avoided. It again would make the resume very difficult to read. While creating your resume, keeping all of these things in mind, hopefully it would benefit you in your job search and increase the potential of you obtaining the position you'd like.